Assalamualaikum. We are from Group 8. We present about Copyright Act 1987. Our group member is Nur Sabrina Najwa, Putri Nur Alia, Nik Nur Najihah, and Muhammad Syamil. So for the introduction, I will explain what is Copyright Act. Copyright Act is a law in Malaysia that to protect people who create things like book, movie or song. It gives them the right to decide how their work is used. If someone use the work without permission, they will fine up to the jail.
Now we are going for purpose and act of the scope. My name is Muhammad Syamil bin Muhammad Hamdan 296063. Purpose of the act is to provide a legal protection for creators who create their own original work by granting them a fairly exclusive right over the use of their intellectual properties IP. These include works such as music, film, fashion, book, or other stuff that can be duplicated. Another purpose is to prevent unauthorized use or exploitation of copyright materials without legal protection, and creators could be vulnerable to copying, distributing, and public performance their own creation without permission or fair compensation. And the scope of the act is to cover a wide range of creative segments, for example, literary, musical, artistic work in films, sound recording, broadcasting. This work must be original and fixed in material use or form to qualify the protection. The law applies to Malaysian citizens who created their services or product in Malaysia and registered in Malaysia. Besides, the person must be a qualified person as defined by the Act.
Next is the impact of the Copyright Act on media professional and media organization. The copyright media affect journalists, broadcasting, and influencers. They cannot freely use other people's work such as video, photo, and media. They must get permission or license from the original creator. For example, a journalist must ask for permission before using a clip video they found in media social. Next is main provision of the Copyright Act related to media industry. For the first one is protected work in Section 7. This section explains what type of work are protected by copyright. For example, film script, song, illustration, graphic design. And the second one is exclusive right of the owner in Section 30. In this section, only the copyright owner has the right to copyright or reproduce the work, distribute it, and perform or show it in public. And the third one is moral right of the creator in Section 25. This protects the creator reputation. Others cannot change or use their work in the way that harm the creator name or image. Important to publish, artists and writers to make their work is respected and properly edited. That's all from me.
Example case in Malaysia that related to copyright case, we are choosing the Siti Khadijah Apparel versus Aryani Textiles. So the issues here is dispute over the design of the telekung, which is a Muslim prayer garment. Claim Siti Khadijah allege Aryani copied their original telekung Siti Khadijah Classic, designed using the reverse engineering. Defend, which is the Aryani Textile, they claim the design was a functional and based on telekung styles. Court findings. The design accepted as a graphic work under the Copyright Act 1987, Section 3. Siti Khadijah proved originality with their drawings, record, and the recognition from their design. However, Aryani failed to provide evidence or call designers, and Kaur saw this as a withholding material evidence, and the product has substantially and likely copied. And the verdict, the decision, copyright infringement confirmed, and the judgment in favor of Siti Khadijah.
Now let us analyze the copyright dispute between Siti Khadijah and Aryani. This case revolved around a conflict where Siti Khadijah claimed that their original telecom design was copied by Aryani through a product campaign called Aryani X Wow Telekom Nur Alisha. The key legal questions raised were: the first one is, does the telecom design quality as a graphic or artistic work under Section 3 of the Copyright Act? Secondly, did Siti Khadijah hold a valid copyright over that design? And the lastly is, did Aryani actually infringe this right by duplicating the product? As a result, the court found that the design met the legal standard for copyright. The similarities between both products were too significant to ignore. So the conclusion is, the court ruled in favor of Siti Khadijah, confirming that even functional clothing like a telecom can be protected under copyright law, as long as there's clear originality and documentation. Implication of the case. This case brings several important implications not just for copyright law but also for the fashion and media industry. The first one is it shows how vital documentation is. Sketch, draft, notes, all of this can be used to prove that a design is original and deserves protection. The second one is the court ruling confirms that even unregistered design, especially in fashion, can still be protected under copyright law if they qualify as graphic or artistic works. This is a big step forward for small designers. The last one is the case enforces the idea of strict liability. A company cannot simply claim we did not know or it was unintentional. Lack of awareness is not a legal excuse. So this might limit innovation slightly, but it also raises the standard of professionalism in the industry.
Among the significant advantages of the Copyright Act 1987 demonstrated in this case, its ability to protect original works even in the form of functional products. In that case, the court ruled that even though the telecom functioned for religious purpose, the design was still considered a graphic work under the Act because it met the requirements of the creativity and creative effort. This decision proved that works that were utilitarian in nature could still receive protection if there were elements of originality and creativity. In addition, this act also played a role in giving priority to the original owner of the work. Through the court decision, the right of the original owner to defend their design from imitation by reverse engineering by competitors was strengthened. This further created fairness in market competition when competitors were not allowed to arbitrarily imitate works that had been worked on with cost, time, and effort. This act also ensured that the burden of proof was on the party challenging the copyright, such as in case where the defendant had to present evidence of his own design if he wanted to deny the claim of copyright infringement. The Copyright Act 1987 also shows some shortcomings. One of its weakness is the debate of the definition of work of art in a functional product. In this case, the court had to assess in depth whether the telecom as a product worship could be considered a graphic work or a work of artistic craftsmanship. This ambiguity reveals weakness in terms of legal interpretation that could affect similar cases in the future. Furthermore, this act does not require formal qualifications in the field of art of the creator in the work. In
In this case, even though the creator of the telecom did not have a formal education in the field of design, the court still accepted his work as eligible for protection. This situation can lead to debate about the validity of the work in the media and the market when each individual can claim the creation of the work without uniform professional standard. From the perspective of media and market freedom, this act has the potential to affect the freedom of the media in providing space for business. In this case, media sales platforms such as CJ Wow Shop are indirectly involved in selling the dispute product. The court's decision show that the media should be more careful in ensuring that the product promoted do not infringe copyright, thus reducing the media freedom in promotional and advertising activities. In addition, this act could be constrained on innovation in the market because every variation of a traditional product such as telecom is protected by its design. Competitors may feel limited in creating similar and better products. This will affect the development of product in a general and traditional industry. In conclusion, the Copyright Act 1987 plays an important role in protecting the creative output of individuals and local companies from exploitation by others. Based on the Siti Khadijah case, this act has proven its effectiveness in controlling the copyright of functional products, but there are still shortcomings that need to be refined, especially in that aspect of the definition of artistic works, media freedom, and limitation on innovations. Therefore, improvement need to be made so that this act remains relevant and balanced in safeguarding the interests of work owners, the right of media, user, and market freedom. Thank you.